Okay, so in this video, let's talk about variables. So variables is a category you can find out at the bottom here. So before we move forward, you may need to understand what are variables. Hopefully you have learned this. If not, which is fine because this is pretty easy to understand. So compared to constant, which is like the numbers, it can be a integer, can be a decimal number. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, like these numbers. So they are called constant numbers. But however, a variable is more like a symbol. It's gonna hold a number, but it's subject to change. So people can assign a different number to that symbol. Then the variable will hold a different number in there. So let's look at here. In the variable tag, you can see all the variable I have created previously, but you can create your own variable over here. So for example, I name it as var underscore 1. Since you already have var underscore 0, so I'm going to name it as var underscore 1. You can name it as whatever you like, as long as it's not giving you a warning saying this name has been used in the system, then you can use it. So let's name it as var underscore 1 for now. It's like something like x, y, z, whatever you have learned in school. So we just name it as a different symbol. And now the next is you have to define what kind of type this variable is going to hold. So we just need this variable to hold a number. You can imagine the variable is like a box. You can put whatever in the box, right? So it's like a storage memory in the computer. So the variable is called var underscore 1, and it's a number, and the initial value is 0. Okay, let's confirm it. So it's already created. You can see it's over here. You can directly use it later. And now what I'm going to do is I will I'm going to assign a value to this variable. It's something like you are going to put exactly an object or anything you know into the box. So let's change the variable name to var underscore 1, and I assign 0 to this variable. So which means I put a 0 in this box. And definitely I can use a different number, let's say 100. So I put 100 as a number into this box, into this variable. So now you can tell me var underscore 1 right now represent 100. So whenever you are using var underscore 1, you're actually using 100 for your program. So you probably already can imagine that what I'm going to do next, right? So I'm going to set up the motor speed to var underscore 1. And let's take a look if the Sphero bolt will move or not. So speed, let's say, nope, I'm going to put a variable in there instead of a number. All right, I found out var 1, right? I'm going to directly drag and drop to put it into here. So speed right now will be var underscore 1, which is 100. And now let's see if we can move the Sphero bolt. Start. All right, so that works. If I need the Sphero come back, then I'm gonna change the speed to where? Let's say to minus 100, right? So it's coming back. All right, so this is a really quick experiment with using variables. I'm gonna see you in the next video.